Good morning, good morning, good morning to you. So, yesterday, the cooking part, it did two parts again. It had nothing to do with my memory. This phone's going to drive me nuts because the default, when I got the phone, I didn't know, setting that, and I took it off. When I went to change the phone, well, it read my palm. And I guess that's how you can start the camera, and you could stop the camera with your palm. Now, YouTube, when you do a video, they, I look, as soon as I download it, I look to see, because they choose a thumbnail, but there's three that you can choose. So I just, one that my arm's not up here or like that, you know what I mean? So, but I found out yesterday because I went in the settings that you can take a picture. I shut it off, but I tried it. Hopefully it don't work. But anyway, if you say cheese or, no, it didn't, and smile, it would take a picture. So just before I started filming, I sat here and I put that on and I said cheese and it took a picture. So if YouTube has a funny thumbnail for me today with my arms up in the air, because I talk a lot with my arms and hands, I can choose that thumbnail. See, I'm learning with you guys, right? So bear with me. Like my camera, I don't want to get another camera. I mean, why? But um, finally they updated that other one, not the studio, but they put the 4,000 watchable hours. So I did a couple steps. In my channel, YouTube is going to be, um, they view my channel or something like that, and it might take a couple days, but I am monetized unless they say no. Today I'm having a sweet breakfast. Waffles, the blueberry ones with syrup, and sausage with syrup. I mean, my plate is full of syrup. And then I got my jello pudding. Anyhow, um, so I did my laundry yesterday where I'm working those 6 days straight, so my schedule's going to change because I want to go into those two post offices and they're not open on Saturday sometimes or Sunday. So on Friday, I'm going to go over, see about the P.O. box numbers, or the P.O. box. Then I'm going to do my groceries Friday night. And Saturday morning, I'm going to have steak and eggs. Even if YouTube doesn't monetize, I'm proud. I got 4,000 and I got the thing. That's pretty good. And I want to thank, I don't want to names, I don't know. I just, there's a person, initials, BS. She gave me a tip, so I want to thank, if you're watching this. Um, then I was thinking, not this Saturday. Leave a comment for me what you think about it. Not this Saturday, but next week, because I'm doing that steak and eggs. Everybody wants me to and in my oh, what do you call it? You might notice I put 5 ingredient cooking or something recipes. Of course, the potato pancake wise, and eggs Benedict. But I'm thinking I'll do two parts again. One cooking, so if it's someone that want to watch it, then they don't have to. And then, because it might be an all-day thing like my mom's spaghetti sauce, so I'm going to film it on, or film me cooking it on a Saturday, because if it's a casserole or a stew or whatever it is, even shepherd's pie. But if it has to cook, then that night for supper, I'll probably call it Saturday night talk, and then I'll have the two parts. Saturday night talk part one, cooking part one, and Saturday night talk, and I'll create another playlist or whatever you call it, folder. Let me know what you think about that, because then I can do more cooking. And it'd be supper cooking, not breakfast, because breakfast is boring. I mean, once you see a person cook an egg or screw up a holiday sauce, you know. Anyway, today I'm going to talk about some of the crazy days with Jim. And then there's like I said, a method to my madness, right? So, I'll start out, I'm a poor driver. I will tell you that. I can't drive worth of beans. But I was always designated driver because on the weekends, because wherever we were going, it always involved drinking on his part. I had to drive. Camping, the races, I mean, had to involve liquor. So anyways, one thing I can say a lot about Jim, though. One thing I will never say is he didn't know anything about cars. He's a mechanic, a small engine. He got an engine, he can fix it. Skidoos, motorcycles, boat engines, anything. That's why when my friend across the road had to go to Dalhousie, her husband wanted me to go with her because I knew a little bit about, I was always watching the gauges and I always do that while driving. You know what I mean? Warning lights, everything. Always done that. And if I hear anything that's out of the norm, I would have told her to pull over and, or smelled anything. He made sure, because I was driving every day 110 miles or kilometers every day back and forth to work. He made sure. So like I said, I think I said it in a part, he would come home and check around the vehicle all the time, see if I ran over something or hit something. Well, in the morning at the market, like I said, the provincial, if you work for provincial, they got certain spots for the public employees, and then there's one for private employees and whatever, the special ones. So there's only so many for the general. And if you're not there early, so I had to see the kids go off for the bus. So by the time I got there, I knew they might be parking behind the market. Winter time, I don't want to be late. I'm in a rush. I got stuck. Didn't I sideswipe the market and it's white? He couldn't figure out for a long time what I ran into. So we went to the market one day and he said, "You didn't." In St. John, we had this old Chevette. We had a lot of cars, a lot of old cars. We only bought one brand new one there. That was before we separated, just before. But we bought these older cars because he could work on it. Inspection. They tear your car apart if it's not brand new. They literally, and every time Like we have an older car, over 10 years old, and he made sure it was running like a new one. And every time he brought it into the place to get it inspected, they're like amazed how well kept it is, you know? And it passed every time. We never had a. So anyway, in St. John we had this small little Chevette. This is after we had that Toyota there. So Jenny was just a baby. We needed a bigger car, right? For sure, a trunk and everything. So Jenny is in a small car seat. Rose small. The Fonda's small. They're in the back. And we just got done doing groceries in a car you couldn't see. Way back, 20 years ago, $5 in a Chevette was almost filling it, like half a tank. You know what I mean? Now, but anyways, so I went to full service, not a self-serve, and he's sitting there, I think he's buzzed, and I go there, and I give the guy, or how did he do it? He had 4 or 5 pumps to take care of, and he put the thing in, the gas hose thingy, and he's pumping it, and I can't see nothing, because anyways, he comes and takes the $5. I had the window down, summertime, so I thought he was done, but the hose was still stuck in the car. So I driving off, and it's going boom, 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 and then goes, stop, running over the gas hose. Took it right off. But he goes, Jim wanted the gas cap because they're hard to find for that year. They stopped making Chevettes. He's more worried about the gas cover. So he goes back, carrying the hose, gets his gas cover, jumps in just like Bonnie and Clyde. Go, 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 go. So I take off. I said, what's up? He said, buddy, want to charge you 100 and he said it right down to the penny. I was like, how would he know? How would he know how much it costs? So it must have happened before, because he knew it right down to the penny how much it costs to replace that hose. So I couldn't go to that gas station anymore. Well, I was working in St. John. I think I said it in one of my stages, but anyway, in case you missed one, my stories. We had that man. I locked the keys in the car. I didn't want to hear Jim's BS, so I didn't call him. I called a tow truck, and they came and unlocked the door and whatnot, and then after work, so I got home, and it cost me like $95, and told Jim one day what happened. He said, the back door don't lock. I could have just opened it. I said, well, why didn't you tell me that? I never, because it had the side door. It was a cargo van, right? I never opened the back door. At the very back. Where he was working at this mechanic shop, one of the guys there, he was, because in Fredericton, there's down in Gary, Canada's fastest short track. It's a 1/4 mile oval track. The pro stock, they got like 4 divisions. They got street stock, is just, it's fun. But they do have to have a roll bar. They don't have to have special tires. They don't have to. That's a separate race. They race in themselves. They upside down and everything and push it over and keep on going. It's just fun. Then there's the other divisions, which there's sports or that was enduro. Sorry, enduro. Then the other one was street stock, which is sort of like enduro car, goes a little bit faster, but you have to buy their tires and there's more specs, right? Then sportsman is more like a NASCAR. And then pro stock is the big boys, they call them. The guy, the driver that Jim was in a pit crew, he could clock. Now we're talking about 1/4 mile track. He could clock, because we done it, because it's an all-day thing just to get ready for the race. Like, and you have to do trials, and then they got to qualify, and then they got to, if the race is at 7 o'clock, you got to get in there for 12. Because it's an all-day thing. So anyway, we got into it because the kids was oldest and older, and LaFonda could watch the kids, and, well, not so much Bro, but Jennifer. But Jennifer, oh yeah. Anyway, I was going to say, oh yeah, so he was in pit crew for that. And we, he had on our vehicle at the time, we had to park, but we got busy because during the week, Tuesdays and Thursdays, we're both working. We have to go to the drivers. Oh yeah, so the pro stock, they could clock between 125 and 125 mile an hour. Not kilometers, but miles per hour. Anyways, so that was an all-day thing. Either it was a Saturday, mostly Saturday night, because usually they have enduro on Sundays. But Tuesdays and Thursdays, we would go over to cross the river to the driver's place, and Jim would work, and the guy that he worked with in the daytime, we'll call him Bob. I don't know his name, I can't remember right now, but anyway, he was the crew chief, and so Tuesdays and Thursdays I drive over because he would have a couple beer, of course, and there's the boys, like they were 5 in the pit crew, and I'd sit there on the lawn chair, and the wives would come over too, and we just sat there and talked, and they really wasn't my friends, but it was his crew, right? Anyhow, I mostly just sat and listened and drink pot. Sometimes I would bring Jenny over, and the driver had 2 boys, younger boys. They would just play outside, and we'd sit. It'd be in the, oh gosh, his garage. It's big. His son was driving Sportsman, and he was driving Pro Stock. So they had 2 cars, fire, a wood stove for the winter time. Summertime, because they still work on the cars, they don't race. But anyway, it was like a man cave sort of thing. It was really nice. So, and place to start. And so we do that. Now, one weekend, we had to be at the race early and see. He had he had the part for the car, but he's working so hard, so he just put soup can with the clamps, but we had the part for it. Like I done saying, you got it. It was making more noise, right? And of course, noise attracts. So the soup can was cracking. It wasn't because of clamps, but anyway. So we're coming back from the race, and we're talking like 1 a.m., because it was one of them late races, because sometimes they had daytime sometimes. And it started making a bunch of noise. And we got to go through the military base around it. And it's really quiet, and you can hear us coming, sound like a tank. And it's working that. Well, no. It was doing September 11th, and I know when that happened, Jim was still working on base, and I had to go get him, and I had to go through so much. They want to see this, and they want to see that. And prior to that, you could just drive in. There was a lot of, here I am, 12 o'clock, 12:30 at night, and the car's going, I sound like an army tank. I was so mad at him. So, anyhow, I got on his case. Oh, so he goes to sleep, and they got MPs all over the place and everything, and he's sleeping. So I was so upset. I speed her up. Once I got out of there, he's sleeping, and I sped her up. And then I put the brakes on, and I yelled, scared the crap right out of him. I said, good, because you got to fix that. I told you not to sleep while we were going through that base. Because if I would get stopped, it was up to you to tell them what was going on. So anyway, so next weekend, he still didn't work on it. I said, well, I'm not going to the race, and I'm not driving. I said, unless you fix that. We're in a rush. It's only a 5-minute job. Well, 15, 20 minutes to put the part on and clamp it. Anyways, I'm getting ready and everything, and I think it was I don't know. Anyway, the Enduro was included, so the kids were coming, and we're all getting ready. And the pool's still under the car. I'm like, isn't he done yet? It's been almost an hour. We got to get going. He's sleeping under the car. So I went in and I went, because his head's like right under where the steering wheel. I honked that horn. I wouldn't let off. Anyhow, so now his father, pretty much all his life, from a teenager up until he retired. So for 40 years, in St. John, he worked in a junkyard. Person would come in, say, I got a year this, and he knew what part, just like that. He'd go to it, cut it off. When Jim was young, like 5, 6, he'd take him to the junkyard. And that's how he learned about all the parts. And I think when he was like 13, 14, he got his first motocross bike. And he had to repair it himself, you know. And then he got skidoos, then he got three-wheelers, and then he got four-wheelers. So that's why he knew about vehicles. That's one thing I can say about him. He knew about vehicles. Everybody, you make a lot of friends, you know what I mean? Everybody in our neighbor, the old guy down the road that knew Dad, he came right up. I mean, every time his car or, you know, anyways. So, get good deals on that camper. But he had no shebang. He was having trouble and mechanics, whatever. He was selling, or he was looking for one, for parts, because they were almost the same year, ours. And so Jim started talking to him, and then he was telling him about what it was doing, and he took it to like 10 mechanics. Jim fixed it like that. So he was all happy. So we told him what type of car, it wasn't the camper, what we were looking for. I think it was a Pontiac 6000. Nice big car, family car, big trunk. Anyway, so he told him where to find a good deal. Because back then we had no Kijiji or computer. So it was a buyer flyer, they called it. And he lived on that thing. He liked to bargain and whatever. So when he found out, so he knew exactly. He went and he said, the Pontiac 6000, he said, there's this guy, he's like a backyard mechanic, he's got a Pontiac 6000. He said, he changed the motor, he changed the battery, the alternator, he changed the starter, he changed everything, and it don't keep a charge. He just wants to get rid of it now. We were saving up. We had, I think he wanted $800 for it. Jim said, I think maybe 4. It was only 400. Anyway, Jim didn't care about inspection sticker because he can get it ready, right? So anyway, but he said he's down a hill, and he's quite far from where we live, but he's down a hill. So I gave him his address. Jim comes, I was at work. He comes in, he says, oh, I need that 400. I had 4 $100 bills. Money talks, right? I got that I need that 400. I said, why? He said, there's a great Pontiac 6000. He said, that's what I want to get, right? It's like we got rid of this Shabbat. So anyways, we sold it to Buddy for cheap. Anyway, he said, but the only thing it don't run. I wasn't worried about it. It's not if it's not motor transmission, I'm not worried about it. Because we're still in an apartment building, so he can't change a motor and that, but little things he can do, right? So anyway, so I gave him 400. Next day, when I was at work, he went down. Made an appointment with the guy, and he went. It was like a half hour out at least. So I had a little bit of spare money too. He always knows that, right? So anyhow, he goes and looks at it. Buddy starts it. He does his little thing and looking around. Kind of figured it was a Link, but he really didn't want to. So he said, tell you what, I got $400 right now for a $100 bill. You sign that over to me. He said, yeah. So it only keep a charge for like probably half the way because we live a ways out from it. So he calls me up. I just bought that car, but I need $95. I'm like, what? He said, it drives and everything. He said, but it doesn't keep and it was beautiful. No rust. I mean, this car was in good condition. Oh, it was in really nice. Like whoever had it. Anyways, he said, I want that car. He said, I just bought it. He said, but I got to get it towed home. I said, yeah, okay. So, gave him money. Because the tow truck driver, he goes and he says, I can't go down that hill to where his house was. He said, I'll drive it up. He said, drive it up. Why are you getting it towed? He said, oh, it's not keeping the charge. Oh, okay. So he gets it up there and he said, how much did you pay for this? He said, 400. I mean, that car was like in mint condition, I swear. It was in good condition. No rust, you could see underneath. No scratch. Oh, good condition, but so in less than a day, he was out there. Took him about 3 hours maybe. Found the problem, fixed it. So we had one heck of a nice car for $400. So someone in a comment said, when I was talking about vehicles that day, and I was saying about the first thing I want to know was about inspection sticker and blah, blah, blah. He said something about me not thinking about safety or something, but that's over the phone. I'm going to go do a test drive and everything and inspect the vehicle the way Jim told me to do some things, you know, when you buy a used vehicle. He did tell me. And so I'll just tell you a little bit of things to check for, just in case, you know. It's probably going to be boring, but I just want to bring it up. Now, of course, when I call about a used vehicle, this is when Jim and I separated, I want to find out, I wrote them down, because doing it and actually talking about it, I might forget something. So anyway, first thing I want to know, because like I said, they literally take your tires off and everything else. That's why that time me and Mom with that old Ford Maverick that we had, we went to Stanley because we got this old guy that would inspect the car and not tear it apart. If your brakes is working, there's no holes, your lights are working, and your emergency brake and stuff like that, he'll pass you. He's not going to take your tires off, and he's not going to, you know what I mean? Anyways, me being a woman going in there, look what happened with that part. He want to take advantage of me. Oh, might have to take your muffler off and hit your brake line. And I'm looking at him. Like, are you serious? I said, I got the extension. All you gotta do is clip, and I didn't even know them how to do it. And so, when I go to look at the car, I always ask, why are you selling it? That's the main thing. I ask, how many owners? I don't do a Carfax. Back then they didn't have Carfax. You couldn't. But I always see if they're the original or how many drivers. If it was an old person just going to, if I find out it was a grandfather and he passed away, but he only used the car twice a month to go into town to get groceries, bing, you know what I mean? And they could be lying. You gotta, anyways. So I look at the mileage, to see how many kilometers is on it, right? Then I always look in the daytime, never at night. If they say, oh, you can come, I call them at 7 o'clock at night or 8 and it's getting dark, I'll say, I'll come over tomorrow. Sorry, I'm busy, blah, blah, blah. I want to see it in daytime. Because I go all the way around the car, check the panels to see if they're all aligned. Because if they're not, the car probably has been in an accident, right? Then I'll go around and see if the bumper is aligned. No, because we're worried about the frame. We want the frame to... Anyway, look underneath, see if there's any new bolts. Because it was, right? The tires, I do a quarter test. Put the quarter in, see how many, see the wear, how much is left on the tire. Put the quarter. Oh, while the car's running and the hood's down, you just put your finger like that on it. Very, very easy. And if you feel any type of, like it's not running smooth, but there's knocks, ticks, anything like that, you're not going to see it. You just put your finger on there. And if it's knocking back, engine, right? Then when I look under the hood, I look for any leaks, cracks in the hoses. I check the fluid, the transmission fluid, car running. Should be a red or a pink. Shouldn't smell burnt. Now, the transmission could be going, and they changed it, and of course it's going to be, but you have to take that chance, right? And you check the oil, and the oil should be brown. Now, with the engine running and you're sitting inside, you listen, he's talking, whatever, you can say, shh, I want to hear. You listen for the knocks and while you're inside, right? You hear. And then you go for test drive. So when you're changing gears, if it goes like this, it jerks. You know, that's not good. Check the brakes while you're driving. And when you're driving, if the car is going one way, but it feels like you're going another way, it was rear-ended at one time in your frame. Check, see if there's any wobbles on the wheels. I mean, there's probably a few other, I just couldn't remember, because when you're actually doing it, you know what I mean? So I had to write it down. But he showed me things, right? So it's wasn't only the inspection, but I mean, depending. I didn't have much money. So if I'm going to pay $500 for a vehicle, after everything passes, but I kind of figured my little inspection's nothing compared to what they do when they put a sticker on your vehicle, right? My little inspection, if it looks good and it runs well, and I'm going to pay $500, and the inspection sticker's good for 5-6 months, I'm going to get it. Because listen, I'm driving that thing like crazy. Kids to school, to work, to sports, to this, to that, to this, to the store, to the, you know what I mean? What I do in 5 months, we were getting taxis and cabs and buses and everything. Believe me, it's a lot cheaper to put, anyways, not only that, when I traded it, when I send it to the junkyard, if I figure like Okay, if it's still good, there's no rust, whatever, I would try to sell it. Try to get maybe $200-300 if I find someone that needs it for parts, or if I find someone that wants to fix it up so that it will pass inspection. Because because a car doesn't pass inspection don't mean that it's not road ready and it's not safe. It's just they tear your car apart. Anyways, so if I could sell it, yeah, I try. But if not, I just call the tow truck company or the junkyard, and they give me $100 for the license plate, because in New Brunswick you don't keep your plate, right? So anyway, they give me $100 for the license plate, and then I save up for another vehicle. So anyways, yeah. So I mean, I was also thinking about safety, not just the inspection, of course, and the year of the car and who drove it and the history of it, and make sure it didn't squeak, knock, tick. Check your fluids, check the tires, make sure there's no holes underneath, cracks. Just a basic inspection that I know that it's safe enough on the road. If I thought a car wasn't safe enough on the road with me and the kids, I definitely wouldn't. But yeah, so that was me and Jim days. So let me know if this Saturday morning, because Friday I'm going to go do groceries, see about the P.O. box. Then Saturday morning I'm doing my steak and eggs and whatever. I'll think maybe homemade hash browns. I don't know. I'll do, because that's going to be a 4,000 view watch special, but I'm not going to name it that. I'm just, put it in parts. And then the Saturday night thing, let me know, and what you think about it, because everybody wants me to cook, but I'm not a good cook. I'm just like Julia Childs. I used to watch her years ago when she first got her TV show. She used to be a mess, a screw up. Like, she couldn't cook, but then later she went to, culinary schools and whatever, and cooking with the best, and she got good. But anyway, so yeah, so I don't know really, if I do Mom's spaghetti sauce, that's not gonna be 5 ingredients for sure. 'Cause that's expensive sauce when I do that. I need money when I do that. But other things like casseroles and whatever, you 5 ingredients, right? And let it cook all day or whatever, and then I'll film it Saturday night. So just say yes for Saturday night talks in the comment. So I don't know, the YouTube is going to be looking at my channel, so make sure, if you haven't already, click the like and the subscribe button. So that might, maybe not just the views, they want to see how many subscribers. I don't know, they're looking at my channel anyway to see if it, to get monetized. I don't know what they're looking for, but anyway. So thanks again for the person for giving me that tip. I appreciate it. So tomorrow, I work today. What is today? Tuesday? Tuesday. That was kind of neat, the bus. Right out here. Went on the app. Showed me where he was. Sort of like Skip the Dishes. Showed me where he was. He had to go pick up one more person. He was going to be like a little late, but of course I'm not going to be late. They said I would arrive at 1:38. I arrived at 1:25, but they must give it enough time because of traffic, weather, whatever, right? Then it says, send you a text. I see the bus. Your bus arrived. It's so neat. I love it. So on cold days and whatever, at least if they cancel, I don't have to walk 20 minutes, like after 20 minutes of waiting at the bus stop up there. I can just walk home. You know what I mean? And find another way in. But anyhow, oh, I'm digging this. Man. So I didn't have my own chauffeur. You're one person with us, but anyway, maybe today. So you guys have a good day. And I'm going to change that thumbnail because as soon as it shows what thumbnail, if I don't like it, YouTube, I took that picture before. So this phone, can you imagine? You set the camera on so that when you say cheese, smile, and then there's a countdown, 3, 2, 1, and takes a picture. That wasn't set, like the palm. That's why it came in 2 parts. I don't know how close you had to be to it, but it reads your palm, and it stops your camera, and then it starts it up again. And that's what happened yesterday. See, that's why 2 parts. Because I've been deleting my bin. So, nothing to do with my memory. But a phone. And the defaults, when you buy the phone, they have it set like that. Why don't they have everything off and then it's up to you to put it on? It's what the phone company, what they want. You know what I mean? I didn't know. But that was neat about the camera. I wish I would have known that before when I first started this. Because I could do my own, I could have done all my own thumbnail. Take a picture first. And, oh well. So my arms won't be up in the air and food in my mouth. And you learn. So that's all for today. So I'll see you tomorrow morning. I have it on toggle too. It's supposed to, when I move, I did put that on. When I move, the camera's supposed to toggle or something. I don't see any difference. I guess I'm not toggling. So until tomorrow, you guys have a good day.